Welcome back to Three Peas in a Podcast, Volume 4. Alma, Allie, and Nichole are out this week, so we got Catherine and Quinn stepping in. And we're going to jump right into sports. Quinn, you want to kick it off for us?
Yeah, so KU lost last night to K-State.
Again?
Yup.
Catherine, you got anything you want to say about it?
It was pretty painful being a KU fan. I mean, it was expected, but
Yeah.
it didn't hurt any less.
Right. Absolutely expected, especially now that they're 1-6 on the road this year, which is just a tough stat to take. But yeah, absolutely. Another loss for the boys. So yeah, KU, for all you KU fans out there, it's been a tough season, but something to look forward to is definitely your South Hoops team. 13-3 so far on the season, which is always fun. 4 games remaining. We got Lawrence Free State on Friday, North on the road next week. Lawrence at home next Friday for senior night, and then Shawnee Mission West that next Tuesday, which is like the big rivalry game to end the season. That'll be also on the road. So a couple good games coming up. If they can close out, they can close out 4 wins out of those 4. That'd be huge. 17-3, put them in a really good spot going into Sub-State. So Sub-State will be that following week, or the week of the Shawnee Mission West game. That'll be a Tuesday, and then that Thursday will be Sub-State game 1, and that Saturday will be Sub-State game 2. Win both of those, and then state tournament that next weekend, Thursday through Sunday in Wichita. So, talking with the guys, I think they're super excited. Looking ahead at what might be if they can really put on a little run here through the postseason. We're going to talk about bowling because we usually do when Nicole's here because she knows all about it. But she's not here today. So we'll just move on with the winter sports postseason coming up. Obviously, just talked about basketball, just regionals and state coming up over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Not much other than that. Just make sure you're supporting your teams and making sure everyone's ready. Excited for the regionals and postseason coming up. So make sure you're supporting all your athletes. But I do have to ask you, Quinn. Transitioning over to the NBA, there's been a lot of talk recently. So Anthony Davis, I don't know if you've heard about him, but he's basically choosing where he gets to go. What do you think about that?
I don't know. Seems kind of unfair.
Yeah, it's just
choose where he goes. I guess if everybody got to choose where they go, then teams would be super unbalanced.
Right, but if you look, I just think it's interesting because I think the NBA has turned from a whole, I don't even know, from what it used to be, where it was it's a business. If teams get offered money for players and they take it, or players for players, or whatever the trade may end up being. But I think it just kind of surprises me that he's basically been able to decide where he goes. Catherine, what do you think?
It's kind of whack, like you said. You get offered money for one of your players, and it's pretty easy to make that trade. But
right.
in this situation, I just think this is kind of the beginning of what could come of the NBA just being a little unfair, as it has been these past couple seasons, where it's
the same teams in the finals every
year.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's kind of interesting. It really is. It just surprises me that you can go from the NBA as a business to now the players have more power than the league and then the teams. And as we've seen, at least in college basketball especially, that usually doesn't go well. But that's really interested me in just the way that it's almost like the whole league has changed around just these super teams and players being able to choose where they go in a sense. I just got a notification on my phone right now that New Orleans is just deciding not to respond to the Lakers for their most recent trade proposal for Anthony Davis, which is just surprising to me. It's become to this point. It's gotten to this point where teams want to make sure that all the best players have all the best players around them. To make sure they're competitive and whatnot. It doesn't seem right to me. It's not how the NBA or the NFL or the MLB has ever worked.
I mean, the NBA has started to become, I don't know, from an outsider's perspective, more than basketball. It's more of like a show and what.
Well, and I've never been a huge NBA fan. Like I've never
College
watched.
basketball is where it's at.
College basketball is definitely where it's at because those guys are playing for passion and they're playing for they're playing.
They're
for
still
something.
working to get.
They're still working to get somewhere. But for me, like the NBA, I think is just like you said, it's like more of a show. It's like you're not really watching like basketball. Like I've never been a big NBA fan because like it's hard for me to watch like NBA games because they don't play defense and they, they're so focused on offense and just.
I mean,
making everything look
paid,
flashy.
So,
Right.
They don't really care as much as like.
And that's why it's
Exactly.
become
like
such
college
like a.
players. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's become such.
Because
a,
like college players are fighting for their spots in like the NBA, and
It's true.
everybody already in the NBA. I mean, they already have
It's like,
contracts.
yeah, you got
so
the money,
Why
so-
do they care?
Right. You got a point. And like last night, Monday, they had on ESPN, they had like the quote unquote NBA crossover where like some of the NBA commentators go to the college games and the college commentators go to the NBA games and whatnot. It was funny. Like last night for the KU game, it was John Shambi, who's the normal like NCAA play-by-play guy. But then they had Chauncey Billups and one other NBA guy. I'm totally blanking on his name, but yeah, like two NBA like analysts there with this John Shambi guy, and it was funny. They were just talking about like, wow, this atmosphere is really crazy here, in Bramblage Coliseum and whatnot. And like, sure, it's loud, but like I think we can all agree that there are crazier atmospheres in college basketball. I just think it's funny that they think it's so crazy just because like the NBA doesn't have any of that. Like it's
your NBA is not your typical high school, college age students
no,
with their passion for competition.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. To see like the fact that like there's such a big difference between between the two leagues and what you're like what you're playing for and like what's going on and everything. So now moving on. Let's see what we got. Student life. Oh yeah, so this has been a hot take that we want to talk about. What do you guys think about group projects?
I hate group projects because I usually it's either two ways. Either I always lead the entire group, or I just kind of like sit and do nothing, and it gets done for me. I
Right.
usually try to do like group projects like alone, like even if it's a group project, just because
Yeah.
like I know I'm more efficient because like I'm not relying on anybody else to get anything else done. Like, I mean, if I mess up or if like I don't do it, like it's on me, not anyone else.
Yeah.
I think group projects really do like have a bad light on them, but I think they could potentially be a lot better because I think the only really negative part is when the teachers choose for you, because if you're, like Quinn said, if you're someone who tends to do all the work and you're in a group of people who just sit back, then of course you're going to be doing all of the work. But if you're in like an equally distributed group, it could be beneficial to get a lot of different opinions and perspectives on a project.
No, I would agree. I think if you like, from my perspective, if you have a group that picks their own group and then doesn't get a good grade, well then it's on them because they picked their partners and they picked their group and whatnot. Like, and it just didn't end up well. Where like if you have teachers pick it, it's kind of like you're like best of luck. Like like it depends what who you get put with and what kind of people you get put with and their like work ethic, obviously. So that's always been a hot take. That was actually some of our responses from last week. They were asking about that. But along with student life, we got spring sports coming up, as we were talking about regionals and state coming up for winter sports, which also means the beginning of spring sports. The last week of February 25th, is the first day of all spring sports. So that's track, girls swim, girls soccer,
Is it
softball.
golf? Is girls golf?
No, not softball. Boys golf and baseball.
There you go.
That's it.
What's softball?
Yeah.
Is it softball like in the beginning of the year?
I thought, softball was fall. I scratched softball. So let's
Oh,
try that
okay.
again. So we got girls swim, girls soccer, boys golf, track, girls soccer, baseball.
No,
Baseball.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Those are a lot of power sports here.
Yeah, a lot of power sports. But I think it's interesting because like obviously like fall and winter you've got your Friday night games for everything, right? You got football and basketball. And everyone goes to those Fridays and Tuesdays. But like in the fall or in the spring, like you don't really have anything to do because people don't go to track meets.
I think the appeal of basketball and football games really just has that it's a designated time with a lot of people going at the same time. But with track events and like track meets, it's just so spread out and diverse. And a lot of people don't understand the way the sport is scored anyways.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
you
just-
got a good point.
Yeah, it's not as widely viewed. Like even cross country is different because everyone's going at the same time.
Yeah.
But with like girls soccer and boys baseball, which I think are two very universally well known and well populated like fan wise sports,
Yeah.
it just has to do with that similar atmosphere of.
I think it's interesting that people don't like go to more baseball and soccer games. I kind of get the baseball thing because like all the baseball games are played at 3 and 2, which are like which is super far away, for a lot of
Is
us.
that like way out in Olathe?
Yeah, it's way in Olathe.
Yeah.
It's like they've got two complexes. One's off like 87th and
But it's like
K7.
way off 87th.
Yeah.
It's like
and then the other one's like in between like 35 and K7. But either way, like they're not close. I think more people go to girls soccer than you think. Especially because our girls soccer team last year made a pretty deep run into the playoffs, and I think they're looking to do the same this year with a strong senior class. But yeah, I just think it's interesting. So I think if you don't have much to do during the spring, you should definitely look at one of those sports, and I think especially track. Like obviously coming from a track runner's perspective, like maybe I'm biased, but I don't think people realize like that track there is something for everyone. Like it's not just sprinting and distance running. It's like you can throw, you can jump, you can like everyone has, not everyone, but you can find some kind of athletic ability within you, and if you're able to go out and like show that you have that, like that just shows more diversity, when you're applying for colleges, when you're applying for a job and stuff like that. Like if you just are more involved and able to do different types of things like that, like I think especially within track and within field, like there's something for everyone. So
I think that goes for all sports, just being involved.
Yeah.
Like this is the whole student life topic.
right,
Just
yeah,
like stay involved.
yeah, just
and
staying involved.
even
and
if you're
making
not
sure.
involved in a sport, you can manage, or you could just go support your friends because you probably know someone you didn't like think you did know them as well.
Right,
Being
yeah.
in a sport.
No, totally. You can meet people. Like,
Yeah, and no one's gonna be like, "Why did you come today?" Like everyone's gonna be pretty hyped to have someone there.
Right, everyone's open to having new and different people there all the time. So
I've
Yeah.
never heard someone say like, "Why did you come support me?" That's so rude.
right, yeah, you've never heard anyone say that. Absolutely. So, yeah, that is an interesting thing to think about for sure. As well, along with more student life topics, today there was a fun advisory. There's a fun advisory presentation on vaping, and honestly, it was funny. I went to Baranowski's right after that. Shout out Big Bear, and he was hilarious. He was like, rather than me giving you a 30-minute presentation voiceover over a PowerPoint where this guy just kind of clicks on videos and talks in a very monotone voice, I'm going to tell you something. And we were like, what? He was like, this dude died because he put a vape pen up to his mouth and it exploded in his face and like destroyed the artery on the side of his neck and caused him to have a stroke, and he died. Yeah, so Quinn has a very shocked face right now, but
No, someone who like got like a brand new like Audi like RS7 or something new, they had a vape in their car and it exploded and melted the entire front half of the car.
No,
The entire front
that's
half of the
so
car caught
sad.
on fire.
So yeah, so for a car guy like you, like that's super upsetting.
That sucks.
Yeah, but I just think it's funny. Like Baranowski, I think has a really good point. He's like, I don't think like none of us. Let's be real. None of us listened to that entire thing, that entire presentation.
Tony Budetti played it in his advisory class.
Oh yeah, but everyone played it. But like I sat there doing other homework. Like I didn't listen to it.
Yeah.
But I think Baranowski has a good point. He's like, this dude put something to his face and it exploded and killed him. Like if that's not enough for you to like not do it, then like that's just your own fault.
Another good point, shout out Tony Budetti made. He said, this generation, so really all the teenagers that are vaping are really just the guinea pigs testing out the product because no one knows what the long-term
Right.
effects are.
That's very true.
Like I
well,
mean,
like you saw it with cigarettes. Like
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's kind of the same thing. Like you saw it with cigarettes, and now it's like happening again.
yeah. So why let something control you?
Right.
You can find that euphoria in something else.
No
Totally.
propylene glycol. No, I'm just okay. All right, I have a fun fact. So propylene glycol is an antifreeze. You have to drink a quart of antifreeze to die.
Yeah.
It's not like if you just like take a sip, like people say. You have to drink a quart.
It's true.
That's it.
That's a really nice
that's it.
statistic to add there, Quinn.
Yeah. Really helpful. Anyway, so more going on. Staying involved. We got the theater show starts next week. Jesus Christ Superstar. There we go. That runs Thursday through Saturday. We got Thursday's opening night, Friday, Saturday's matinee, and then Saturday night as well. They're super excited about the show. This is the one that I think the students got to choose this year. So they're all super excited about this. So make sure you get to one of those shows, as well as, is that this? Yeah, so that same weekend, so Jesus Christ Superstar weekend, you have a 4-day weekend. So what are you all doing on this 4-day weekend?
My
Quinn?
birthday is the Monday that we have off.
Heck yeah, dude.
Hey.
And
so is
Travis Scott concert, the 17th.
Is that
That's the
That's-
17th.
That's not the
what day
4-day
is that? The
weekend.
Sunday or the Monday?
No, it's the 4-day weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, but what day of
It's the 17th. It's the Sunday.
That's Sunday. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a Sunday. So lucky for us, we don't have school after the Travis Scott concert. I'll be going to a concert, not Travis Scott. I'll be in Des Moines going to see Young the Giant. Super excited about that one.
Ooh,
It's gonna be a good one.
good stuff.
Yep. Catherine, what about you? What are you doing over the 4-day weekend?
I will be going to Glenwood Springs and skiing.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good. I like how they're doing the new like off days. Like you know how we used to always have. I mean, you wouldn't know, but you know how we always used to have those like random Tuesdays off.
Yeah, I was dumb. 'Cause
Yeah.
we just like go to school and like in the middle of the week we'd have a day off.
Right. So they switched that now. So like obviously like why we had like Thanksgiving, the entire week of Thanksgiving off, it's because they had Monday and Tuesday were the professional learning days or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing here is they keep adding them onto these breaks, so it just makes it longer. That way people like Catherine can go out of town or like myself can go out of town, and you can actually get a full vacation out of it,
Yeah.
which I think makes more sense.
But Travis Scott and Young the Giant both sound very entertaining.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear about that.
Better than Colorado? Oh yeah.
Oh, no, not better than Colorado.
Right. Yeah. No.
Concert life is where it's at.
Yeah. Concert life is
I've
fun.
been to like 3 concerts.
Really?
Really?
No, let's see. I went to Russ, John Bellion, and then
How was that show?
What?
Bellion?
Dude, it was really good.
Was it good?
It was like at Uptown Theater.
Yeah.
It was
I
a
heard
lot
about
of
it.
fun. He's
Good.
like, I don't know, it's weird. I swear he's better in person than he is like.
Yeah, I don't
Oh my
I don't
God.
love his studio stuff. There's some good stuff. but
That's how Vance Joy is if you ever see him live.
yeah.
It's just really, really good time. Would 10 out of 10 suggest.
Yeah. Catherine, how many concerts have you been to?
Probably like 4 or 5. But I think my favorite one I've ever been to was back when U2 came last fall and they played at Arrowhead.
Heck yeah.
That was a
That's a
pretty
good
cool
time.
concert.
Gwen, 3, 4?
I guess I've been to 3. I mean, I went to Buzz Beach Ball, which counts as one, I guess.
Yeah.
But that was like 3 years ago.
Oh, did you go to the one at Sporting?
Yeah, I went to the one that had Snoop Dogg play.
Oh no, that was at Providence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, that was so I went the year before that.
You did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I went and saw. God, that lineup was stacked. Ex Ambassadors, Strumbellas, Fits in the Tantrums, Bleachers, Cage the Elephant.
I feel like now it's
think
like
it was-
more of like people that aren't really known that are starting to play.
Yeah, well, it's more like they're more like looking at like the entertainment side of things than
Yeah.
like the actual music. Because like it's funny because like 96.5 is like the alternative indie
Yeah.
rock like radio station, but their like festival is like the last couple years has not been at all. Like,
Yeah.
like Weezer was their headliner, which like I don't really know if you can even count Weezer's alternative. They're more like
Wasn't he just here
Rock.
last week?
no Weezer. They're coming next week, I think.
Oh,
I can't
Woozy
remember.
was here last week.
Yeah, Woozy was here last
Sorry,
week.
names.
Yeah, no. Weezer's coming in March, but
Yeah, his new
they're
stuff
playing
just
it.
came out.
Yeah. But Weezer's playing in the Sprint Center, and they're like, I don't know. I'll be like, it just kind of stinks because like for me, again, we talked about this last week, but like I don't think the Sprint Center like sets up well for concerts.
No.
I
So-
100% agree with that.
Right.
The
Even for
seats are so
basketball
steep.
games.
Yeah. So like I wouldn't so much rather like go see Weezer like somewhere else, but like I don't want to go see Weezer at Sprint Center.
I like
No.
Uptown Theater. Or
Uptown
like
Theater's a great theater.
Silver.
Oh,
Student
the
Arena. Yeah.
Yeah. I went to a show out there as well.
That's
It
why I
was-
went to Russ. It's a good place for concerts because
It
like
is.
no matter where you sit, like you can see.
It's just
the
really
stage.
small,
I
and
mean,
like
yeah, it's small.
that's not a bad thing. Like I think smaller settings for concerts are great. Like the Young the Giant one, like they actually just added to their tour dates that they're coming to Kansas City. But I don't think I'm gonna go because it's gonna be in a bigger like venue. Like the one I'm going to in Iowa, it's like an 800 or 900 seat like little tiny
It's Iowa.
amphitheater. Well, yeah, I mean it's in Iowa. What do you expect? But at the same time, like I'm super excited because like it's gonna be
Yeah.
a smaller like set arena.
Environment.
So I think that'll like definitely help with that. Going along with music though, like I was thinking about this earlier. Rap, are you old rap or new rap? Which do you prefer?
I like old.
I would agree.
I think I'm old too.
I like mostly old, but like some of the new stuff.
I think some of it's
Mostly
good.
old,
I don't
but-
know if I would classify new rap as like the same category as old rap.
I would agree.
Like it's just a whole different sound, and all your creators now aren't using.
Most new rap is like trap music.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
most-
It's not
legitimate
really, like,
instrumental.
actual rap.
Like if you look at like what Kanye West's graduation album sounds so much.
Versus Yee.
Yeah, that's like the perfect example.
It's very different. Yeah, I think it's gone from like conscious rap where they're actually like trying to make rhymes and make things that sound that like make sense to like if you get lost in the beat, like you're not really listening to what they say, which is like why I have such an issue with mumble rap, because I feel like mumble rap is just like you're just listening to sounds. You're not even listening to like them actually like saying anything.
And
Where like we're like with like for example, like I'm a big fan of like Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
Which is like conscious rap. Like you can actually hear what they're saying. They're trying to send a message, and like it all flows. Where like you don't really get lost in the beat. You get more like trying to like hear what they're trying to say.
yeah, Evan makes a good point, but also I just think like even in like the topics of rap today is just so much different compared to.
That's true.
You don't even have to go back to like the 90s. You could just go early 2000s
Right.
when it's just
Well, I think a lot of times like rap back then was just about like being better than you. Like that was like a big theme, was just like being better than all their competitors. Where now it's like all about like drugs
It's
and
politics
yeah,
now,
and
and-
politics. Like what? Like I don't know why we have to bring that into our music. Like and this is another thing. This is another discussion for a whole nother day.
country music.
No. No, we talked about that
What
last
do you
week
think it's
actually.
country music, huh?
No, the
But
topics.
but we were talking about, or I want to bring this in someday, but talking about how sports, or
What?
how politics is like getting into everything, like sports and music, and like it's invading everything, and it's like, that used to be kind of like what we did to get away from it, but
yeah.
that's a whole nother topic for another week. but-
Evan's getting heated for those of you who can't tell.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. So we're 3-0, old rap over new rap.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would 100%.
And then also, this is another topic that we were asked to discuss. Should we be able to practice or like play like our sports or activities on days off or snow days, or like not necessarily snow days, but just like holidays?
No.
No, not all it is.
Being
So like
someone
MLK Day
Yeah.
for an example,
being someone who's very involved in sports and extracurricular activities,
right?
I think it's really important to know the line between like what being committed looks like compared to being addicted. And I think
Right.
I think there is a point that coaches call you into the gym or on the field or whatever activity you're in,
Yeah.
on like your days off, because your opponents could very well also be in the gym getting better than you.
Right.
or
Which is
can-
usually how it is.
That's how it is. It's that idea of competition that's driving you to get better.
right.
But there should also be a level of respect for understanding on holidays or long breaks, like that there are other things going on in your
Right.
life outside of school activities, and that it shouldn't be harmful if you say, hey, I can't go to this practice, or maybe
Right.
we can have a day off on the 5 days we're expected to practice.
Right. Well, I would agree with that, because like just for example, like I like obviously do cross country and track, but like I did basketball last year, and obviously we had like that entire week of Thanksgiving off,
Mhm.
and my family, like we go out of town every year for Thanksgiving. Just over that weekend though, like not over the week, but just over the weekend, and I was still benched for the first game because I missed 2 days of practice, and it's like, well, I get that, but like how many kids like we lost a kid for like the first 3 games because he was out of town that entire week. And it was kind of like, this is a little bit ridiculous that, you're missing a couple days of practice, and all of a sudden you're getting benched because you missed this practice. It's like, well, it's over break. It's over a school break. You plan these trips so far in advance before you even know you made this team and that practice is required. For a lot of stuff like that, and like last year I know, and this year too. A couple teams would have games on Martin Luther King Day, which I think is interesting. It's just like you don't have school, but you still have a game or you still have practice. Like I feel like there should be a fine line of if there's no school, there's no games as well, or maybe opening that up. But I just think it's interesting that one sport can do one thing. Because what I was gonna say is like track last year. I know over spring break we didn't have any required practices. Now granted, obviously we all still ran because it's we all know if we don't run, we're not going to get any better, and we can't be, staying in shape. But I just think it's interesting that some sports can have practice, and some sports don't. I feel like there should definitely be a strict line on a yes or a no.
Mm-hmm. This season at least, I'm involved in girls basketball, and on every snow day we've had, or ice day, living in Kansas.
Cold day.
We don't know what
Cold
to call
day.
them. Our coach still calls practice,
Right.
which is just kind of hard to plan for when you don't have a set time or schedule, and also you don't know what the roads are like, but you're still expected to be somewhere, or you'll be punished if you're not. So
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got two things we got to wrap up with. First of all, with it being this cold and needing somewhere warm to go to study or whatever else you want to do, favorite coffee shops in the area? I gotta ask, Ryan. Quinn, are you much of a coffee guy?
Yeah, I like coffee.
Okay, what's your favorite coffee shop in the area?
In the area, I don't know. Whenever I go get coffee, I usually just get straight black coffee. I don't know why, I'm kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I think the best black coffee that doesn't taste like tar or feet is probably Scooters.
Okay.
For coffee wise, I just love the taste of any of Oddly Correct's coffee, which is served at little local places like Foo's or Second Best.
Right.
But the filling station has really good coffee too.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Second Best guy. Love their stuff because I think they're good all around. Because have you ever had their breakfast burritos?
I've not.
Oh,
I've not been graced with that yet.
Come on, good stuff, man. Really good stuff. That we might add that one to our new series that we might start 3 pieces of podcast reviews. We're going to start going because we talked about Silas and Maddie's, the ice cream place last week, which is good stuff.
Was good.
Yeah, it's really good ice cream.
Ben.
Yeah, well, again, you got to go.
It's off of Blue Valley Parkway, isn't it?
Yeah, it's well, no, it's out. It's 119th.
It's it's in Olathe.
Yeah.
Have you boys tried Energizing?
Energizing?
Yeah, it's like a 3-course meal replacement shake place. So
What?
you start with an aloe vera shot to
Ugh.
clear your stomach.
Isn't that like a plant?
Yeah, but it tastes good. It tastes like mango, and then you get a tea.
Isn't that like a plant?
And then you get a tea, and then you get a shake, like a smoothie, but it's
Folded up steak and fries and stuff.
no.
Oh.
But you can get it in wedding cake or Oreo or all these really good flavors. And I had heard about it for a while, and I kind of just thought it was your basic white girl, Mission Hills meal replacement
That's
shake.
where Johnson County mom.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then my friends finally dragged me there, and it was pretty life-changing.
Yeah.
I would recommend.
Either way, so we're looking at this new. we're looking at trying to do this new series called 3 Pieces of Podcast Reviews, where we basically
I
just
just
go
started
to different
that for you.
restaurants. Yeah,
now you're
no,
going to have to finish
that's
it.
great, for sure. Just different places that people want us to go to, and we kind of give our review on it and what we think. And then the last one with obviously this will be our last episode before Valentine's Day, because Valentine's Day is next Thursday. What any best date night restaurants?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking all of you.
I don't know. Nick and Jake's is good.
Nick and Jake's is solid. I don't really know about date night, but it's good food.
About date night? No.
Well,
I just
Evan,
feel like it's
give
a
us
little loud.
give us some,
Okay, I feel like
give
it's a
us
little
some
loud.
boundaries. What would your date night be?
Are you talking about date night
Dressed up fancy?
Well, I don't know. What are
you
you
trying to hit home date night, or you're just trying to go out for dinner date night?
Wow.
You got a point. I'd say let's just say go out for dinner, just a nice, not expensive necessarily, but just somewhere where you can sit and talk to your other person, just you and them, and
I'll give you $5. You can go to McDonald's, get yourself whatever you want.
Okay, so apparently Quinn doesn't have any ideas. Catherine, you want?
I
Burger
don't
Fi.
know.
Okay, I will give you that one.
Burger
That's
Fi
good.
is good. That's a good spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, casual. I would say like BurgerFi or BRGR. Those are
Okay,
both
yeah.
solid options.
BRGR.
That place is good.
Yeah, but if you want to like kick it up a little notch, but not have to get all fancy or blow your money, I would say like Bravo, like that Italian place.
Okay, yeah. I got you guys. And I like Nick and Jake, so I
I
wasn't
like Hereford House.
Ooh.
That's like
It's-
hitting it home though.
That's really nice.
But it's not that expensive.
You got a point. And it's just like, yeah, well, and like, that's the thing, like Nick and Jake's.
Like it's good
I wasn't-
food, but it's like
yeah,
not
sure.
terribly expensive. Like
I-
Nick and Jake's is the same.
Yeah, and I wasn't hating on Nick and Jake's. I love Nick and Jake's. Nick and Jake's is really good.
Say Nick and Jake's one more time.
Nick and Jake's?
Chewy's. Have you been to Chewy's?
No.
Oh my god.
Where's that?
It's like
135th in like Metcalf.
yeah, they just built a new one.
Oh,
off,
it's
like,
right over there by
135th.
like
Like
all those other
Cane's.
restaurants.
Cane's is where
Well,
you should
and
go on a
they
date.
have one right
It's
across
great.
from like Silas and Maddie's.
Really?
Yeah, like literally right.
I haven't
you
been.
know
I haven't been to
AMC?
that Silas and Maddie's in years. I went to the one in Lawrence recently.
Oh well,
and-
there's like a Chewy's right next there. Best Tex-Mex you will ever have. It is so good.
Really?
Oh, yes, you got to get the chicken flautas
Okay.
with refried beans and the green chili rice.
Heck yeah.
Oh my god! And then they have this like jalapeno salsa. So good.
Good stuff. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's volume. This will be posted on Friday at noon. We recorded on Wednesday like we usually do. This will be posted Friday at noon, just like all the other episodes. And yeah, Allie and Nichole should be back next week, so that'd be good. But thank you guys for stepping in and helping us join. Anything you want to sign off with?
You're very welcome.
Yep.
Yep.
All
Go
right.
Chewy's.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.